Okay, so I'm starting with a fresh session here, and I have got a mastered, just a real brief blurb song that I threw together for this project. I've got that down here in my playlist. I'm going to hop over to the mixer here again. And effectively the only thing I need to slot in here is the ZGameEditor visualizer. And I'm just going to throw that up here. And you can see here I've got basically nothing displayed here because I don't have any effect layers set up right now. Now, the visualizer does come with like a bulk of presets. Some of them are okay, some of them are all right, some of them are marginally okay, and some are just downright just an affront to the eyes altogether. But that's neither here nor there. We are going to start from scratch. We're going to build our own custom doohickey or a visualizer here. So let's get started. Now, for this example, I've got something in mind, something that kind of mirrors what you see people putting online with like Spotify, check out this new track, what have you. So I'm going to start with just a basic background, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to just come here to this drop down, and I'm going to select a solid color background. As you can see right now in my preview, it is still black. The default's just black. One other thing I want to mention before we move any farther into this. Right now, the aspect ratio, you can't really tell from the preview because it's very, very small. The aspect ratio is set to 16:9, and that's like your widescreen TV. We don't want that. What we want is a vertical video, something that's going to display well in Instagram and other platforms. So I'm just going to simply set this to 9:16. Just going to flip it. Okay, so I don't want a black background. I want something a little more eye-catching. And the way I can set that background color is to go up here to the set color little paintbrush pictograph. Sorry, this popped up on my other screen. And I'm going to select something that's like, I don't know, cyan. Why not? Okay, boom. No, you can see that. I'm actually going to expand this just a little bit so that we have more of an idea of what's going on here. Okay, background setup. The next thing I want to do is I want to add my cover art. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to head over here to the Add Content tab, and I'm going to select from the Images tab, Add Pictures. So another window popped up on my other screen. So just give me a second here. I'm going to select the JPEG that I want to display here. And you'll see the path there. Okay, I'm going to then move back over to the main where I can select my next effect layer. In this case, I'm going to select image here. Okay. Yeah, looks like a crazy like stained glass window. All right, I need to change that. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go to the image source drop down here, and I'm going to select that JPEG that I've just dropped in the other tab. All right, so now I've got that up. Obviously, well, in this example, I mean, that looks cool enough. That can totally be a usable thing as a background, but I want it to display more or less as like cover art in like a square format, like you would see on Spotify or elsewhere. I need to scale that down. I'm going to do that via the size slider here. One thing to note here is any of these sliders, much like anywhere else in FL Studio, you can actually go in and like type in value. You can copy those values, you can paste those values, and you can use the set dial, which allows you to get more granular with the slider. Because like when I use the basically the horizontal slider, it's very kind of like jagged or jarring or something like that. But in this case, it's not too bad. So I'm just going to, I don't know. That's fine, I guess, for purposes here. And I'm also going to bring that up a bit. And for that, lastly, I'm just going to round the corners off a little bit here just to kind of give it a little extra pizzazz. Yep, and I think that looks all right. The next thing I want to do is add the title of the track here. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to head back over to the Add Content tab, Text. And from here, I'm going to type in 2 lines. I'm just going to go ahead and type in the name of the track and the name of the music artist. And I'm going to explain that in more detail here in just a second. Okay, with those entered in, I can head back over to the main tab. And the next thing I want to do to get my artist name popped up here is I'm going to select a new effect layer, and this is going to be a HUD text. And you can see there, just kind of like off screen a little bit, my track name. Obviously, I need to modify that a little bit, size it down, center it, and going to change its font. All right, let's get this guy moved over. I'll get him centered here a little bit. Little too big at the moment, so I'm going to change the font size here. Move him down a little bit. Sorry, this is all just random here. I'm just making some random off-the-cuff decisions here. Sure, why not? Okay. And I'm just going to go to kind of a go-to font for me here. I don't know, that's a little thin. What does this look like? No. Okay, I'm just going to go back. All right, yeah, Roboto, fine. Okay, all right. So I'm going to expand this just to get my view going for my next effect layer, which is going to be another HUD text. And what I can do actually here with this little drop down, I can clone layer. Obviously what it just did, it just dropped the same text on top of the other text. But since I had that second line, which was like the art, which is to be the artist name, the Slonky Donkeys just made that up. I need to tell that effect layer to display that line. The way I can do that is on the slider here, text line. And if I drag this over beyond 50%, it's going to show the second. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to drag it all the way over. I'm going to bring him down just a little bit. I'm going to reduce the size of the font once again here. Bring him to a manageable size. I want to center him underneath. Whoops. No, I do not want that. Okay. Reset. Position X. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's looking good. Right now, what I want to do is I want to add a bit of animated pizzazz. Right now, just having a static image, static text, not eye-catching whatsoever, no matter how awesome your audio sample sounds, it's not going to catch the eye. So I'm going to add another effect layer. I'm going to select Peak Effects, Linear. And what this is going to give me, it's going to give me kind of like that EQ band readout, like a spectrum analyzer. And I'll just go ahead and play it for you real quick, just to give you an idea of what comes out by default. Yeah, so it's just kind of over everything, and it's just way way too large. I'm going to reduce that in size just to generally be the width of my cover art. I'm also going to change the position here. I'm going to raise that above my track name. That looks okay. Aesthetically, I just want to reduce the number of bands. Right now, I feel like there's too many and it's just like too busy. Okay, I like that. And I also want to just make that black. I don't really necessarily need that red gradient thing going on. Of course, that's just personal taste. So I'm going to alter the lightness here. Okay, that's looking cool. Lastly, for this effect layer, I want to turn off the line there, that floor. I don't want it to display unless like the audio is displaying. It probably really wouldn't come into play once this is put up on Instagram. But just seeing that line, it just kind of perturbs me a little bit. And I'm just going to select the hide floor radio button here. So that's gone. So now I will only see that display when I play. Okay, very good. Okay, so I think a couple other things I want to adjust that just caught my eye is the font on the track and the artist name, the Slonky Donkeys. I want those to be black as well, so I'm going to adjust the lightness on both of those to match. Okay. Okay, again, personal taste, whatever. Do what you want. Okay, this is looking cool. The last thing I want to add here, one more effect layer. I want to add a status bar, a left to right status bar indicator where we're at on the track. And I'm going to find that I'm thinking this is I'm really hoping this is a default FL Studio option, and it's not just something that just somehow I've acquired through some means. Down here in time indicators, Youlean time bar. It seems pretty self-explanatory, so I'll just play that here. Yeah, so you can see that that time bar moving left to right in accordance with the span of the track in the playlist. And you can see the audio source here is set to master. This project is very, very basic. I just have this wave setting in master, but you could theoretically change this to other inserts for your own purposes. Right now, I don't like the thickness of the status bar. I just want to change this to be kind of like a kind of match the text that I have down here, which is kind of like a narrow line. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to adjust the line width. It might be a little too thin. I wanted it to stand out just a little bit. Okay, that's probably good there. I'm going to alter the lightness here, lightness there, so everything is black. Okay, and I'm going to adjust the I guess you would consider that the horizontal position. I'm terrible with XY coordinates. I get them backward all the time. There I go again. Okay, I'm going to reset that. Position Y. I'm going to sit this just above my track name and below my linear readout here. So let's play. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I'm kind of digging that, you know. Okay, yeah, pretty good. No complaints. I'm sure that, you know, through further development, I would probably spruce this up a little bit here and there. But, you know, for the purposes of setting up a quick and easy visualizer, just to display like your tracks coming out and October 1st or something like that, you know, this could be a good quick way of you know drumming up some attention to your future release, or you know, a release that you've put out 5 years ago, whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell. And you know, as I mentioned early in the video, like there's tons and tons of presets, and you can go through these things and you can extrapolate how these things work, and you know, all of these dials and sliders and stuff like that. One thing worth mentioning, just like nearly everything native to FL Studio, all of these dials can be automated. Like you can set up automations to move these things around throughout various points in your playlist. You can do some really wild stuff. I mean, it's crazy. I would just suggest going in and just exploring. You can find some really interesting things here. So I really hope this was helpful, and hopefully, you know, this can help your I mean, obviously this is not audio engineering 101 here by any means. This is just, you know, to get you know, the eyes on, you know, your music in a really, I mean, this is free. You already have FL Studio. You don't need any video editing software to produce one of these things. Okay, so the last thing I want to do here is I want to export my video. I want to get this out and ready for social media. And I can do that by going over to the export video, as you can see here, this button. Okay, so my first default option would be YouTube HD, 1920 by 1080. That's like your standard, I guess, horizontal video that you would see on YouTube. But we set this up as vertical video, so we don't want that. I'm going to select the 1080 by 1920 Insta Story option here. To the TikTok option would work as well. Yeah, I'm just going to select the default here, MP4. That's how you're going to post things to anywhere really. So I'm just going to accept the defaults here and hit OK. I'm going to bring my export options over here. It's also going to export the paired master output to a separate WAV file as well. And I've got all this set up ready to go, and I'm just going to hit start. Okay, the MP4 is exported. Let's take a look here. Okay, I think that will work. Kind of got that kind of pastel 80s aesthetic to it, which is kind of what I was aiming for. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Again, you can go through these presets, the default presets, and just kind of like dig in and extrapolate how a lot of these things like think and move. And, you know, as I mentioned before, go in and automate these settings, really get the movement moving, the animations really dialed in, and, you know, just really catch the viewer's eye, you know, explore and learn. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hey guys, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to answer those. And again, hey, thanks for stopping by. Take care.